Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and we learned that there are parameters which we can adjust for these LLMs. And I think that we should spend some time fiddling with them so that we can understand how that will impact our model. And maybe later on, we might need to tweak these to change the level of randomness. So here we have this GPT-3.5 Turbo that I've deployed earlier. There, of course, are other ones that we can utilize, but I'm using 3.5 Turbo because it is older. And so it's a great use case for teaching because it can do weird and wonky things. There is ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, which is more cost effective and better. But again, I want to show how these things can vary. So what I'm looking for is the option to change the parameters. And so here we have parameters. And you're going to notice that we have a few options. We have temperature, top P. Sometimes you'll have access to top K. So what I'm going to do is go over to the OpenAI playground because I want to see comparatively, like you might not have access to this, but I do because I pay for OpenAI separately here. But, oh, right now it's saying I have no models available. What are you talking about? Well, that's not very helpful, but here on the right-hand side, you'll notice we have temperature, maximum tokens, top P, and some additional information. I was looking for top K, so like if you use something else, like maybe Claude, it might have other values here, but generally there will always be temperature and top P. So temperature is going to control the randomness, so higher value increases the randomness of your answer, whereas if you go to 0, it's not going to be as random. Top P is about cutting off the token selection. So it's sampling from less or more depending on what you want to adjust. So I don't normally fiddle with top P, to be honest. And they explain it down here as well. Controls diversity via nucleus sampling. So 0.5 means half of likely weighted options are considered. So fewer options are considered. And then over here, it's going to change the level randomness. But you can read all of these and get an idea of what they do, right? But for the most part, you generally don't have to tweak these. They're pretty good. But again, in some cases, you might want to dial down the temperature. You can see here that the temperature is at 0.7. So maybe we could say a better example might be using this for completion as opposed to chat. But I might have to deploy a new model for this. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll deploy a completion model as opposed to a chat model. Completion models are older, but I think it might make this a better use case. So I'm going to go over here to our model catalog, and I'm looking for a completion model. So completion model just says completion. So we have Babbage, Da Vinci. I think Babbage is cheaper. And so I'm going to go ahead and deploy this model. Let's go ahead and choose that. Let's pay close attention to the deployment type or method. And so here's this model is not available in the selected OpenAI resource about connecting here. So this is where certain ones are available in certain areas and other places. So right now I think I'm in, which one am I in? I'm not sure. But, you know, if we're trying to utilize, let's say Babbage, if I can find it here, it is available in here and here. So we have it in North Central US. And then here we have this in Sweden Central. So it's really interesting where we have access to something and when we don't. So I'm going to switch over, I guess, to Sweden. And I guess we basically would have to make a new hub to do that. So I'm going to go over to hubs here. And notice this one is West US. I'm going to go and create a new hub. And this one in particular, I don't want a new resource group. I have enough of those. I'm going to do Azure Studio Hub here. I'm going to switch this over to Sweden Central. And here it's going to probably have to create a new one. I don't know if I need Azure AI Search. No, we don't need Azure AI Search, but we're definitely going to need this. So we're going to let it create that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit next and create. There we go. And we will give it a moment to create, okay? All right, so our project is ready. I believe we're in that hub right now. I probably should have named it with Sweden in there, but we can go over to our model catalog and let's go take a look at launching Babbage. So we'll give it a moment here to load. Okay, so here we have Babbage. We're going to go ahead and deploy. And let's see what deployment options we have. Probably something cost effective. We have standard. Standard sounds good. And we're going to go ahead and deploy this. And we'll just give it a moment to deploy. All right, that was fast. I believe it is now deployed. So if we want to utilize this model, we're going to go over to projects and create ourselves a new project. So just say, yeah, I don't care what the project is called. But if you're doing this for serious, you probably want these named correctly. I don't remember seeing this AI services here. Now I really want to click that, but I can't right now, but I'll have to wait. Okay, so our project is here. And yeah, I'm just curious, what is AI services here? Okay, so it's just a easy way to start working with these. It's totally nothing interesting there. But I'm going to go back to all projects here, give this a refresh, go into my project, and now we'll go to completions. Now, if we go to chat, I just want to show you here that Babbage probably won't appear because it's not a valid model. But if we go over to completions, we have it. Completion models are considered older models. If you fine-tune them correctly, they can be of use, but for the most part, they're not that great. And we have some options here on the left-hand side. So we have, I think this is top P right here. Yeah, it is. So this is the top P, and up here we have our temperature. And so the idea is that this is supposed to complete the sentence. So my favorite food is, and I'll put a colon here. And so I'm encouraging it. Yes, I'm Canadian, so I do ROUT, but I'm encouraging it to supply a value here. So we'll go ahead and hit generate. Like I was telling you how many tokens down below. It says 4D noodles. Give me a little bit too much information. Not exactly what I wanted. But that's okay. So the idea here is that we're already turned down for our tokens here. But I guess it's just producing as much as it can, right? But let's say we just clear this out here. So we have 4D noodles. Let's run this again. Clearly that's very random. My favorite food is bacon and eggs, macaroni and cheese, tacos, and hamburgers. So now it's listing them in order. Let's try this. Okay, so again, we're getting different things. Let's try another one. My favorite food is 6. Wow, terrible, 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 terrible. But the point is that Babbage is what it is. And there are ways to make it better, but for now, we'll just stick with its simple implementation. So let's turn this all the way down to 0, and let's see what happens if we have it on that. So here we have chicken, pasta, pizza, pasta. And those are pretty safe answers. Pasta is very, very popular here. So again, it's not being so random. We'll try this again. Chicken, pasta, pizza, pasta. Okay, again. Chicken, pasta, pizza, pasta. So the point is that if you're looking for something with more reliable results, you can turn it all the way down, but you're going to get rid of the creativity here. So there could be a case where you might want to have it all the way down to 0, like, and we might utilize that later on. So let's bring this to 0.5. Okay. And I didn't mean to delete that out here, but I'll go ahead. What my favorite food is. Okay, and we will hit generate now at the 0.5. Okay, still going for chicken. Okay, but we are getting more variation here. Okay, so now much more random. Let's go bring it down to 0.2. Again, we're just trying to experience that level of randomness. And actually, when I change the number there, it clears it out. So my favorite food is. Okay, so still pretty random, or pretty typical. At least we're getting pizza in here. And so it's very useful to just kind of like go up the chain here. This time I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to keep it in here. Okay, great, we have this. Still chicken. We'll try 0.4 here. Chicken rice, okay. 0.5. Chicken with rice. 0.6. Totally weird, but hey, at least it's doing more random. Okay, so now you're starting to get the idea here. Something else we could try to play around with, it would be top probability. So let's go back here and just generate, leaving it alone at 0.5, what we get here. So here we get chicken, pasta, pizza, great. Let's say we turn it all the way down, all the way down. Now what do we get? The same. Okay, we'll do this again. The same, okay. And I mean, we would expect that because if it's selecting from fewer options, I thought maybe it would just be like chicken, 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 but it still is the same. Let's turn this all the way up to 1. Let's see what we get now. So it has more to select from, but it's just still more pasta. So we're not really noticing much of a difference here. Okay, so now let's go and bring the temperature up to, let's say, 0.7. So that seems to be a good number here. And we're going to place the top probabilities back to 0.5. And we're going to go ahead and hit generate. Okay, so looks good so far. And we'll do it a few times because we have to run it a few times to find out what's happening, shrimp, price, etc. So now I'll run it one more time. Okay, mussel. So very random. Still getting lots of pasta. Let's turn the probabilities down. Let's see what we get now. So notice we're getting more of our chicken pasta thing, eh? Because there's less to choose from. So now we could dial this into, let's say, 0.2. Favorite food is 0.3. My favorite food is. Notice now it's going with colors. Really, oh, it's kind of following through that, but that didn't really make sense. Let's just crank this up and now see what we get. Probably really random. 99 spices chicken. But hey, it's nice and descriptive. I like how it's like a weird spelling mistake, but it clearly looks like training data. Let's try this again. It's weird that like with top probabilities and temperature, it's still coherent and it's more interesting than it was at 0.5. But I guess it has more text to sample, right? It's weird that we're getting better results like that, but I'm going to go back to 0.5 and we'll go here. Yeah, and so it's interesting, like if we want something more conversational, more interesting, then 1 and 1 are interesting. So hopefully that gives you an idea of temperature and top probabilities. When you have these more intelligent models, ChatGPT or GPT-4o, Claude Sonnet 3.5, Llama 4.1, whatever, these things, you don't really have to play with them too much. But with these simpler models, based on what you're doing, you're going to want to tweak things here. I'm going to leave the Sweden around because the Sweden hub, because we might end up using it for fine tuning in another video. I'm not going to shut anything down because everything is serverless here, so I'm not worried about it. And I will see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.